For more on this, let's bring in Kellyanne Conway, former counselor to the president, President Trump, also Fox News contributor and author of Here's the Deal. All right, let's touch on this first because listen, that press conference following the release of this was just it was heartbreaking in some ways and an embarrassment in other ways, but it also, Kellyanne, seemed to confirm what President Biden was pushing back against.
That's right. I'm really surprised how strongly the White House is pushing back on this entire report because, number one, Charles, this isn't coming from Mega MAGA, the Trump campaign, some right-wing group, as the White House loves to say. It's all the complaints are coming from inside the House. This is Joe Biden's own Department of Justice, his own executive branch, saying, and we quote, that the president is a well-meaning elderly man who lacks the mental state, the capacity to form willfulness. Why is that relevant here? Because they're saying absent that mental state and willfulness as formed, he can't have that a jury would not find him guilty or liable of something. Contrast that to what's happening to President Trump, where they raid his home, they arrest him, they take a mugshot, then they try to illegally disqualify him from 2 state ballots, and then for good measure, we have a Democratic judge in New York, not a jury of President Trump's peers, but just one man, go ahead and laying on the scales of justice altogether. So people do see this as a 2-tier justice system. They just and if I were this White House, Charles, I'd worry about all the other polling numbers that show the vast majority of Americans and a really strong number of self-identified Democrats and a majority of independents saying that life with Joe Biden is less secure, less affordable, and less fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think it points more to Joe Biden's ego. To your point, the report, the DOJ saying it was not the report wasn't to criticize or even demean, but just articulate something that they found to be true. And listen, he doesn't have to go to. I think he got the better of the deal, to be quite frank with you. But let's pick up on this breaking news you just alluded to. This New York judge fining President Trump over $350 million, barring him and his kids from doing business in New York for at least 3 years. The numbers are staggering. It's mind-boggling. And first and foremost, of course, the verdict was already in. So you feel like maybe this trial was something of a dog and pony show. And then you get this outrageous verdict. What do you think the public response is going to be?
The public response is likely to be what it's been since last March, when President Trump was first indicted in the Stormy Daniels case, something I testified to the grand jury about because I was campaign manager in 2016. And that's to create a little bit of sympathy and even some empathy for Mr. Trump, President Trump, even among people who say they may not vote for him or they didn't vote for him before. They just feel that in our great country, the rule of law must apply evenly to everyone. You know, Charles, if this had been the first time that people have tried to get Trump, it'd be something, but it's like the 18,000th time, and people see that for what it is. Also, I think a fair number of Americans just look at it as election interference. Let the people decide. If you are disturbed by the legal cases against President Trump, then the 91 indictments and the counts, and you're going to say, okay, maybe that bothers you, maybe it doesn't. But I was really struck by an article last month in the New York Times by Mike Bender. It said how college-educated Republicans learned to fall in love with Donald Trump again. It's a great article, and yeah, it had a little bit to do with the economy, but most of it is what you just asked. This over-prosecution has made college-educated Republicans who otherwise would give a look maybe to Nikki Haley, maybe to Joe Biden, but they're saying, you know what? I just feel that everybody's telling me he's bad, so I'm going to vote for him. Everybody's telling me you can't do that. It's just too much. And for it to be one judge strikes a lot of people as maybe the president and his family and his organization have a good case on appeal.
Yeah. Of course, the meltdown of the Fulton County Attorney General didn't help either. Kellyanne Conway, thank you very, very much.